It all started with a message that I wasn't supposed to see. That ping on my phone felt innocent at first, just a notification. But when I unlocked it, the words hit me like a punch to the gut. There they were, conversations between people I trusted, conversations about me, but without me. I stared at the screen, heart pounding, disbelief washing over me like a tidal wave. I had always believed in the honesty of my closest friends. We shared secrets, laughter, plans for the future. But that night, the illusion shattered. The messages revealed something else entirely. Behind my back, they were talking about me in ways that felt like betrayal carved with words. It wasn't just gossip. It was plotting, exclusion, and things I couldn't comprehend. My mind raced back to moments I thought were genuine, the late-night talks, the promises to always be there. How could they have been so fake? The room felt smaller, the air heavier. I kept scrolling, each message worse than the last, like peeling off layers of a wound I didn't even know existed. I felt like a stranger in my own life. I remember the cold sweat on my palms as I reread the messages, hoping for some mistake, a misunderstanding. But the words were clear, sharp, and intentional. I wondered how long this had been going on. Days, weeks, months. The timeline blurred, but the pain was immediate and raw, a burning sensation deep in my chest. I wanted to confront them right away, to demand explanations, to scream until my voice broke. But fear held me back. What if they denied everything? What if I was just overreacting? That night, I lay awake, torn between anger and confusion, trying to make sense of the chaos that had taken over my heart. The next day was a blur of forced smiles and hollow conversations. I watched them closely, searching for cracks, signs of guilt, but they acted normal, oblivious, or so they thought. Every glance, every word felt loaded with meaning now, as if I was seeing a different version of reality, one where I was the outsider looking in. I tried to talk to other friends, those who weren't involved, hoping to find some clarity, but even then the whispers started. Rumors spread faster than wildfire, and suddenly I was the one being questioned. "Are you sure about what you saw?" they asked. "Maybe it's just a misunderstanding." But my gut told me otherwise. The truth was buried in those messages, and it was ugly. One evening, I gathered the courage to ask for a meeting with the people involved. My hands trembled as I stood in front of them, voice cracking as I laid out what I had found. The silence that followed was suffocating. They avoided my eyes, shuffled awkwardly, and some tried to deny. But deep down, I could see the cracks in their stories. It wasn't just about what they said behind my back. It was about the things they did, the plans they made excluding me, the lies they told to cover their tracks. It felt like a betrayal not just of friendship, but of trust itself, the foundation of any relationship. I was left standing there, heart in pieces, trying to figure out who they really were. I thought about all the times I had been there for them, the support I gave without hesitation. And now, it felt like a cruel joke. The people I had considered family had formed a secret world without me, a place where my name was spoken in whispers and judgments. It was a lonely, bitter pill to swallow. Days turned into restless nights, and I found myself withdrawing from everyone. I couldn't trust my own feelings anymore, couldn't trust the voice inside telling me to hold on or let go. Everything was tangled in a web of doubt, and I was stuck in the middle, desperate for a way out. I started writing down everything, memories, conversations, the messages I had seen. It was my attempt to make sense of the madness, to hold on to reality when everything else seemed to slip away. The pages filled with questions, accusations, and tears I refused to shed openly. Then came the moments when I caught them looking at me differently, with guilt or maybe pity. It was the worst kind of pain, knowing they were aware of the damage, but unsure if they regretted it or just feared losing their comfortable facade. I wanted to ask why, but words failed me every time. One night I overheard a phone call, snippets of a conversation that confirmed my fears. They had been hiding things from me, making decisions that impacted me without my knowledge. The betrayal wasn't just emotional, it was real, tangible, and it cut deeper than I ever imagined possible. I felt like I was living in a nightmare where trust was a fragile illusion, easily shattered by whispers and secrets. The people I had opened my heart to had built walls behind my back, leaving me outside, cold and confused. The emotional weight was crushing, and I didn't know who to turn to anymore. The hardest part was pretending everything was fine in front of others. Smiling, nodding, acting like the world hadn't cracked open beneath me. But inside, I was screaming, drowning in a sea of loneliness and betrayal that no one else could see or understand. I kept asking myself what I did wrong, where I missed the signs. Was I too trusting, too naive, or was it just that some people were capable of cruelty I never expected? The questions haunted me, keeping me awake in the darkest hours of the night. Sometimes I caught glimpses of who they once were in my memory, the laughter, the shared dreams. It made the betrayal sting even more, like losing a part of myself I thought was safe. That person, that bond, was gone now, replaced by suspicion and doubt. I realized that forgiveness wasn't going to come easy, if at all. Trust, once broken, is like shattered glass. No matter how carefully you try to piece it back together, the cracks remain. And sometimes, you have to decide whether to live with those cracks or walk away to protect your own heart. I haven't figured out what's next yet. The anger still burns, the hurt still lingers, and the questions keep piling up. But I know one thing for sure, things will never be the same again. The people I trusted have changed, and so have I, forced into a new reality where trust is something I have to rebuild from the ground up. Every day feels like walking on thin ice, unsure if the next step will shatter what little stability I have left. But maybe, in the chaos and pain, there's a lesson hidden about resilience, about self-worth, and about the kind of people truly deserving of my trust. For now, I'm just trying to survive the storm. Sometimes I catch myself replaying conversations in my head, searching for clues I missed. A look, a tone, a pause that might have hinted at the truth. It's exhausting, like trying to read a book where half the pages are torn out. I'm left filling in gaps with guesses and fears. I've started distancing myself, not because I want to, but because I have to. The closeness that once felt like a safe harbor now feels like a trap. It's strange how people you thought knew you best can become strangers overnight, their faces familiar, but their intentions unreadable. There are moments when I want to scream at the world, at them, at myself. The betrayal feels so personal, like a wound that won't stop bleeding. Yet, I have to keep moving forward, even if every step feels heavy and uncertain. I don't know if I'll ever get clear answers or a genuine apology. Maybe some wounds aren't meant to be healed by others, but by ourselves. And maybe, just maybe, this painful chapter is the start of a new story, one where I learn to trust again, but differently. For now, I'm holding on to small things, moments of peace, memories that still bring a smile, and the hope that someday this mess will make sense. The road ahead is unclear, but I'm not ready to give up yet. Not on myself, not on the possibility of better days. The silence between us is louder than any argument we could have had. It's filled with all the things left unsaid and the weight of broken promises. Sometimes, I wonder if they feel the same emptiness or if they've moved on without looking back. I'm learning that betrayal isn't always loud and explosive. Often, it's quiet and sneaky, growing in the shadows until one day, it's too big to ignore. That realization makes me wary, but also wiser, teaching me to guard my heart without closing it completely. The hardest part about trust is that it's invisible until it's broken. You don't notice it until the cracks start to show, and by then, sometimes it's too late. I keep reminding myself to be patient with others and with myself as I navigate this painful journey. I find solace in small rituals now, writing, walking, listening to music that echoes my feelings. It's like a lifeline, grounding me when the storm inside gets too wild. Sometimes, these quiet moments are the only things that keep me from falling apart completely. Even though I'm hurt, I'm not broken. There's a flicker of strength inside me that refuses to be extinguished. It's fragile, yes, but it's there, pushing me to face the truth and find a way through the darkness, even when it seems impossible. I wonder how many others have walked this path, felt the sting of betrayal from those they trusted most. It's a lonely road, but maybe sharing this story will remind someone out there they're not alone. That sometimes pain is part of growth, and trust can be rebuilt, even if it takes time. I keep asking myself what I want moving forward. Revenge, closure, or just peace? The answers aren't clear yet. What I do know is that holding onto anger like a shield only weighs me down. Maybe letting go, even if it hurts, is the first step toward healing. I've stopped looking back as much, even though the memories still haunt me. I'm trying to focus on what's ahead, on rebuilding my world brick by brick. It's slow, sometimes painful work, but it feels necessary. I owe it to myself to find light after all this darkness. Every time I hear a laugh or see a group of friends, a pang of jealousy and sorrow hits me. I miss the simplicity of trusting without fear, the comfort of knowing someone truly had my back. But I'm learning that those moments aren't gone forever. They just have to be earned again, carefully and deliberately. It's strange how betrayal changes your perspective. People who once seemed so important suddenly fade into the background, while others step forward unexpectedly. I'm discovering new connections, new allies, even if the scars from the old wounds remain visible. I sometimes catch myself laughing at silly jokes or finding joy in small victories. Those moments remind me that life goes on, even when your heart feels broken. It's these tiny sparks of happiness that keep me moving forward, one uncertain step at a time. I don't know if I'll ever fully trust the same way again. Maybe that's the price we pay for being deeply hurt. But I'm beginning to understand that trust isn't just about others. It's about trusting yourself to survive, to choose wisely, and to love again without losing yourself. I've thought about writing them a letter, everything I couldn't say face to face. Maybe one day I'll send it, or maybe it's just for me, a way to release the tangled emotions swirling inside. Either way, it's part of the process, part of reclaiming my story from the shadows. Sometimes the hardest person to forgive is yourself, for trusting too easily, for ignoring red flags, for hoping that people would be better than they were. But I'm learning that forgiveness is a gift we give ourselves, a way to find peace even when the past refuses to let go. I've started to see the cracks in trust not as the end, but as openings to something new, more cautious, more aware, but still hopeful. It's a delicate balance, and some days I stumble, but I'm trying to keep my heart open, even if just a little bit, to the possibility of healing. Every night I replay the moment I first saw those messages, the shock freezing me in place. It's burned into my memory, a painful landmark on this journey. But I'm also carving out new memories now, moments of strength, of self-discovery, that remind me who I really am beneath the hurt. I'm not ready to share all the details yet, not because I'm ashamed, but because some wounds need time before they can be exposed. Maybe someday I'll tell the full story in my own time, when the pain is less sharp and the lessons clearer. For now, I'm just here, standing on the edge of what was and what could be. The future feels uncertain, but there's a quiet determination growing inside me. The road ahead might be rocky, but I'm ready to walk it, step by step, with whatever strength I can muster. I've learned that trust isn't a gift you give lightly, nor is it a treasure easily reclaimed once lost. It's fragile, complex, and deeply personal. And maybe that's the hardest lesson of all, that the people we let in closest are the ones with the power to hurt us the most. There are moments when I want to scream, to cry, to do anything but hold it all inside. But I remind myself that vulnerability is not weakness, it's part of being human. Even in the darkest times, it's okay to feel, to break, and to slowly put the pieces back together. Sometimes I catch myself staring out the window, lost in thought, wondering what went wrong and if there was anything I could have done differently. But I'm trying to be kinder to myself, recognizing that some things are beyond our control, no matter how much we want to fix them. I've started noticing little things that remind me of better times, a shared joke, a familiar place, a song that used to mean something. It's bittersweet, but it also shows me that not everything is lost, that memories can be both painful and comforting at once. I won't pretend the betrayal didn't change me. It did. It forced me to reevaluate who I am, what I value, and how I want to move forward. It's a painful transformation, but maybe it's also a necessary one, a way to grow stronger, wiser, and more true to myself. I've realized that healing isn't linear. Some days I feel hopeful, others overwhelmed. It's a roller coaster of emotions, but I'm learning to ride the waves without losing myself. And sometimes that means taking a step back, breathing deeply, and allowing myself to just be. The hardest part is accepting that some relationships might never be the same. The trust that was broken can't always be mended, and sometimes walking away is the bravest thing we can do. It's painful, but also freeing, a chance to protect our hearts and open new doors. I've started to surround myself with people who respect my boundaries and value honesty. It's a slow process, rebuilding a circle that feels safe, but it's worth it. Trust isn't about perfection, it's about choosing those who show up authentically even when it's hard. The nights are still tough. Sometimes I lie awake, haunted by what was and what could have been. But I'm learning to find peace in the quiet, to let the silence soothe rather than scream. It's a small victory, but it feels like progress. I keep reminding myself that I'm not alone. Others have faced betrayal, heartbreak, and the slow unraveling of trust. Hearing their stories, sharing my own, creates a thread of connection that helps me feel less isolated in this experience. I don't know where this journey will end, but I'm determined to keep moving forward. The pain is real, but so is the possibility of healing. And maybe, in time, I'll find a way to trust again, not naively, but with eyes wide open and a heart that's learned to protect itself. For now, I'm taking each day as it comes, holding on to the hope that one day the weight of this betrayal will lift, and I'll be able to look back without pain. Until then, I'm here, learning, growing, and slowly reclaiming my life from the shadows. Sometimes, when I'm alone, I whisper the question that won't leave me: why? Why did they do this? The answer doesn't come easily. Maybe there isn't one that makes sense. Sometimes, people hurt others because they're hurting themselves. It's a bitter thought, but it's part of the tangled web I'm trying to unravel. I've started to see that trust is a choice we make every day. It's not a one-time gift, but a continual act of faith in others and ourselves. Even after betrayal, that choice remains, harder, scarier, but still possible, and that's what I'm holding on to. I don't have all the answers yet. In fact, some days I feel more lost than ever, but I've learned that it's okay not to have it all figured out. Life is messy, painful, and unpredictable, and sometimes the only thing we can do is keep putting one foot in front of the other. The people who betrayed me are still a part of my story, but they don't define me. I'm more than their secrets and lies. I'm the sum of every moment I've survived, every tear I've shed, and every breath I take toward healing. That strength is mine, and no one can take it away. I'm learning to listen to my instincts again, to trust the quiet voice inside that warns me when something isn't right. It's a slow process, but each step builds a foundation I can rely on. Trust starts from within, and that's where I'm focusing my energy now. I still feel the sting of betrayal, but I'm also beginning to feel something else: hope. Hope that I can rebuild, hope that I can find people who truly value me, and hope that I can learn to trust again, not blindly, but with a heart that's stronger and wiser than before. The journey ahead is uncertain, and I don't know what it holds, but I'm ready to face it, scars and all, because even in the darkest moments, there's a flicker of light, a reminder that I'm still here, still fighting, and still worthy of trust and love. So here I am, sharing my story not for pity or sympathy, but because maybe, just maybe, it will resonate with someone out there who's been through the same pain. You're not alone. Trust is fragile, betrayal is cruel, but healing is possible. And that's a truth worth holding on to. I don't know what the future holds for me or for those who betrayed me. Maybe one day we'll cross paths again with different hearts and clearer eyes. Or maybe not. For now, I'm focused on finding my own path, one step at a time, through the wreckage of broken trust and the hope of new beginnings. Every scar tells a story, and mine is one of betrayal and survival. It's messy and painful, but it's mine. And I'm learning to wear it not as a mark of shame, but as a symbol of strength, a reminder that even when trust breaks, the heart can still mend. The silence in the room where we once shared everything is deafening now. It echoes with all the things left unsaid, the promises broken, and the trust lost. But silence can also be a space for reflection, for healing, and for rebuilding something new, even if it looks different from before. Sometimes I wonder if they ever think about what they did, if they feel the weight of their actions. Maybe they do, maybe they don't, but their choices don't control my future. I get to decide how I respond, how I heal, and how I move forward from here. I'm still learning what it means to trust again. It's not easy, and some days it feels impossible. But I'm trying to open my heart cautiously, to believe in people's goodness while protecting myself, and to find balance between vulnerability and strength. The road to healing is long and winding, filled with setbacks and small victories, but each step forward is a triumph, a reclaiming of my power and my peace. I'm grateful for the moments of clarity and kindness that remind me I'm not defined by betrayal, but by how I rise from it. I know I'm not the same person I was before. The betrayal changed me, but it didn't break me. I'm still here, still breathing, still fighting for trust, not just in others, but in myself. And that, I think, is the most important trust of all. Sometimes I catch myself smiling again, genuinely and without fear. It's a small light in the darkness, a sign that healing is happening even when I can't see it clearly. Those moments give me hope that one day trust will feel natural again, not forced or fragile. I'm sharing this story because I believe in the power of truth, even when it's painful. Betrayal cuts deep, but speaking out can be a step toward reclaiming your voice and your life. If you're reading this and feeling the sting of broken trust, know that your feelings are valid and healing is possible. This isn't the end of my story, just a difficult chapter. I'm still writing, still searching for answers, and still learning to navigate the complex emotions that come with betrayal. It's messy, it's raw, and it's real, and I'm here for it, one day at a time. I don't have all the pieces yet, but I'm gathering them slowly, trying to understand the whole picture. Some parts are painful, some confusing, but each one is a step toward clarity. And maybe, in time, I'll find peace with what happened and the strength to move beyond it. I'm learning that trust isn't about never being hurt, but about choosing to believe again despite the risk. It's a brave, fragile thing, and it takes time to rebuild once broken. But I'm willing to try, because life is too short to live behind walls built from betrayal. So here I am, still standing, still hoping, still learning to trust, not just others, but myself. The journey is far from over, and the road is uncertain, but I'm ready to keep walking, one step at a time, toward a future where trust is no longer a question mark, but a promise. This story isn't just about betrayal, it's about resilience, about finding strength in the face of heartbreak, and about the messy, beautiful process of healing. I'm still figuring it out, and maybe that's okay. Maybe that's what makes this story worth telling. I don't know what tomorrow will bring, but tonight I'm here, alive, hopeful, and ready to face whatever comes next. Because trust, like life, is a journey, not a destination. And I'm learning to walk it, one uncertain, courageous step at a time.